Today on the CTV News at 5, a manhunt is underway for a suspect in the shooting of 2 RCMP officers near Killam. Plus, a Lethbridge man who killed his wife and boyfriend more than 2 decades ago is hoping to get out of jail early. And former Canes captain Cam Braze returns to the NMAX, but this time it's as a warrior.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. 2 RCMP officers, one of them originally from Lethbridge, are in stable condition tonight after being shot yesterday near Killam, southeast of Edmonton. Terry Boat will tell us more about Sidney Gaudette in a moment, but first, more on the search for a suspect and what police are saying about a man's body found inside the home where the shootout happened. Janet Dirks has the latest.
After surrounding a rural property all night, police confirm one man was found dead inside the house, apparently killed in a gun battle with police. Now RCMP are looking for this 27-year-old, described as a person of interest in the shooting.
He should be considered as a high-risk individual.
According to police, Sawyer Clark Robeson left the property when 4 RCMP officers were executing a search warrant for a handgun. Robeson may be driving a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado. RCMP insist the general public need not be alarmed.
We don't believe he's a danger to the public in general. He is certainly believed to be armed. Likely with long-barreled weapons.
And police confirmed the 2 officers wounded, Constable Sheldon Shaw and Constable Sid Gaudette, had surgery last night. Both are recovering in Edmonton and are listed in stable condition.
We're all thinking of Sheldon, and thoughts and prayers go out to both the officers involved.
The neighbor of one of the wounded officers can't quite believe it.
I'm just in shock that something like this would happen out here. I guess it just goes to show there's bad people everywhere in the world.
The horror that a police shooting could happen in a tight-knit community of 1,000 people is still setting in.
Pretty devastating to find out that 2 of our local guys got shot. And we're praying for them.
For some, the shooting is too reminiscent of the Mayerthorpe massacre of 2005, when 4 young officers were gunned down, murdered, on a rural property in central Alberta.
It is a dangerous business, and I don't think that you can draw any specific conclusions from 1 or 2 incidents. I am very happy, though, that this has not involved, this is not another Mayerthorpe, and the fact that both our officers will survive.
As to what was behind Tuesday's shooting, police say there may be a link to a domestic dispute from another property on Friday. A man was arrested and charged with uttering threats. RCMP say he is friends with the person they are searching for right now. Janet Dirks, CTV News, Edmonton.
Now, as we said, one of the injured Mounties grew up in Lethbridge. Constable Sidney Gaudette followed in the footsteps of his father, a retired RCMP officer who still lives in the community. As Terry Boat reports, the shooting in Killam has touched staff at the Lethbridge College, where Constable Gaudette took his criminal justice training.
When the news came out yesterday, it was one of shock, fear. You kind of relive all those times again.
For instructors in the Lethbridge College Criminal Justice Program, word of a shooting in Killam set off some internal alarm bells. The first question that came to mind was anyone they knew involved.
I'd seen that there was a shooting there, and I knew that the family and the previous student of ours was posted up there. I know it's a smaller detachment, 6, 7 members, so of course you're always playing the odds. Was he involved, wasn't he? And
even if you don't know them, it still brings it home. It hurts, and when it's someone you do know, it even hurts worse. And last night was a pretty long night, I think, for, excuse me, not only me, but for a lot of members in Alberta and across the country and police officers everywhere.
It didn't take long for the instructors, most of them retired police officers, to confirm their fears that one of the Mounties who was wounded in the Killam shooting is Constable Sidney Gaudette, a 5-year veteran who graduated from the criminal justice program here in 2005.
A lot like his dad, pretty laid back, really a nice guy. I've golfed with him since when he's been down visiting his mom and dad, and just a laid back, easygoing, very personable, one of those young guys you just can't help but like.
And it really brings home the reality that, you know, even in policing, we don't hear much about police officers, what they do behind the scenes, but it can be a very dangerous job. And from day to day, the most innocent situation can turn ugly in a heartbeat.
Friends here in Lethbridge say their thoughts are now with the injured officers and their families, and they await more details on the injuries that the two men suffered.
Everybody's hearts go out to them and their families, and we'll keep our fingers crossed and prayers.
Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Constable Sidney Gaudet attended high school at Catholic Central, and family friends say he recently returned from a honeymoon in Jamaica. Now, this RCMP shooting is bringing back memories of the tragedy in Mayerthorpe. In 2005, 4 Mounties were shot to death by James Roscoe. Police failed to find 4 rifles and a 12-gauge shotgun in Roscoe's Quonset hut just hours before he gunned down the officers. Last March, an inquiry into the Mayerthorpe shootings concluded that the tragedy could not have been prevented. The judge recommended officers have better access to more powerful weapons and that more research be done on protective body armor. Well, to Dory Rossiter now, and a forecast that's going to be in the minus temperatures later this week, all because of an Arctic high pressure system.
Yeah, we do have an Arctic high pressure system that's already starting to make inroads into northern Alberta, and it's heading south, and so it'll be making its way later tomorrow into southern Alberta. We'll start off with a high of 0. We'll hit that early in the day, and then temperatures will start to slide down, and we're pretty much going to stay in minus numbers until we start back on Monday, back to work day. So I'll have more details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Sounds great. Thanks, Dory. Well, a Lethbridge man who killed his wife and boyfriend her boyfriend more than 2 decades ago is hoping to get out of jail early. In 1993, Fred Osco was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder. The crime happened at a rural property near New Dayton. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. The 70-year-old has been in jail for 21 years. Osco must first convince a judge to put his application for early release before a jury, and the jury would ultimately make the decision. Justice Neil Whitman says he will submit his ruling in writing in the near future. A Vulcan man accused of sex crimes against girls and of an attempted abduction of a boy made a brief court appearance today. 19-year-old A.J. Gregory is charged with 4 counts of sexual assault, sexual interference, and sexual touching. The charges stem from alleged sexual relations with 2 girls under the age of 16. Now, Gregory is also charged with attempted kidnapping. RCMP say an off-duty Mountie was told a man in a pickup truck was seen chasing a young boy. Gregory will remain in custody until a bail hearing February the 15th. A Southern Alberta family is pleading for the safe return of their 11-year-old daughter's horse. The family believes Sid was stolen from their ranch 10 kilometers east of Writing-on-Stone Park sometime over the last few days. They've searched the area by ground and by air and haven't been able to find him. Sid is 11 years old. He's a cream-colored Palomino, but is very white in the winter. He has a white blaze down his nose, a scar on his left back leg, and an injury to his right front hoof. The family says he's not a valuable horse, but he means the world to their daughter.
He's also got crooked front legs, so he's great for my daughter, but anybody that needs a horse for work or, racing, you could never use him hard. And, the other 7 horses in that field were far better choice.
Anyone with information is asked to call 403-647-3888. You can also find more details on our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page. Well, extremely dry conditions have forced yet another fire ban to be put into effect. The County of Warner has issued a total ban on all fires, including burning barrels, and they say no fire permits will be issued until further notice. And today, Bell Canada is celebrating their 2nd annual Let's Talk Day. In Lethbridge, our own Dory Rossiter was given a national award from the Schizophrenia Society for helping spread the word about mental health issues. The Let's Talk initiative is a nationwide event aimed at getting Canadians talking in an attempt to destigmatize mental illness. It's also about creating greater awareness and acceptance, less stigma, and more funding for mental health.
We are now living at a time when the whole corporate community, the society at large, is recognizing that mental illness is an important social condition that needs to be addressed, and it can't be locked away in the shadows any longer. And that's really the significance of the Bell Let's Talk Day, is taking mental illness out of the closets and out of the shadows, bringing it into the light of the community.
Bell Canada says the 3 A's that are the key dialogue about mental illness are awareness, acceptance, and action. For details on how you can help, log on to letstalk.bell.ca. Well, students at Lethbridge College are learning how to get seniors active. Therapeutic recreation students are showing fellow classmates some of the different techniques that they've developed. Having the students put on glasses that stimulate eye problems like cataracts using enlarged objects makes it easier to see what they're doing. And those who may be confined to a wheelchair or have reduced motor skills can also participate in activities. Playing games on the Wii, wheelchair curling, and sledge hockey are all activities the group offers to seniors.
They always have excuses, but we always have a way around explaining to them what the benefits are and getting involved. And you know, it's better to go out and be involved into a program rather than sitting in your home or sitting in your apartment all day. You know, it just gets a little bit lonely when you get older.
Now, on top of getting seniors active, the activities also provide a chance for them to get out and socialize. It's a story of revenge, deception, love, and murder. Students at the University of Lethbridge are immersing themselves in the world of Hamlet. After his father's murder, Hamlet's world is turned upside down. His mother remarried to the uncle he believes killed his father. Hamlet plans to get revenge. Director Brian Parkinson is putting on a modern-day swing with Shakespeare's iconic play. From the set to the costumes and props, the cast and crew have found new ways of engaging the audience.
Most people, you know, they think of Hamlet, they think, oh, guy holding a skull, but you have to show them that Hamlet is a real person with real thoughts and real feelings so that they can sympathize when they watch.
The show runs from February 14th to the 18th, 8 p.m. Tickets are available at the university box office. Do you remember the story we told you yesterday about a bear mauling an SUV after getting trapped inside? It happened near Waterton. Well, we've managed to dig up some more pictures on it. It happened back in October when a grizzly bear cub opened an unlocked door on an SUV. It was parked outside Tim Hamilton's cabin near Waterton Lakes National Park. As you can see, the bear went crazy trying to get out, deploying airbags, ripping out seats, even bending the steering column. The bear caused $60,000 damage before finally crashing through the rear window. Tim Hamilton, a Calgary businessman, says he didn't go public with the bear's adventure until now because he is pro-bear and didn't want people to think it was a bad bear. Coincidentally, Hamilton's insurance company is the same one that has a bear in the TV ad that destroys a vehicle. Needless to say, they didn't give him any trouble when he filed his claim. And time now for a look at the financial markets. Here's how the day closed up.